2024, what a year it's been. And looking back of all of my perfume sort of purchases throughout the year, I want to take a look back and actually pick out the ones that really made a mark on me, things that I hadn't actually smelled before, even though they're not new fragrances. So this might be a kind of like a misleading title, like the perfumes of 2024. It's not it. It's my actual things that I found that were great in 2024. Some of these are actually decades old, but I only smelled them for the first time this year. And that's what made me either buy a full bottle or think that they're really the bee's knees. In no particular order whatsoever, let's kick this off. Kicking this off with this guy over here. And that is MDCI's Invasion Barbare. A beautiful scent, a really lovely sort of mature sort of scent. I smell a lot of this dusty sort of creamy cardamom that's in here. It was never really on my radar until I smelled it at a friend's place. I smelled it once, I tried it on my skin, and I could smell it all through the day. And I thought, this is incredible, and I must have a bottle of it. That was this year, first time that I actually smelled it, and I actually ended up getting a bottle, and I've used quite a bit of it. Since I've had it, it's so good, and I absolutely adore it. So if you haven't checked this one out, this house is actually quite good, but I think this is a standout fragrance. Invasion Barbare by MDCI. This next one actually caught me by surprise because of, well, I read the reviews, and they came back with, it was kind of lukewarm. And I thought, well, okay, well, I guess I'll never try this out. And what a mistake that was, because that is Tom Ford's Noir, the original Noir. And this, I believe, has been discontinued, but you can find them pretty readily. It's pretty readily available. I do like these bottles with their striations, actually. This smells very similar to something I've actually already got by Prada, which is Amber Pour Homme Intense. And that also comes in a black bottle, and they're both sort of got patchouli in them. I find that whilst they're quite similar in the opening and the mid, they kind of separate. They part ways in the dry down, and they both, one's not better than the other. I can't pick one over the other in terms of scent and in terms of performance as well. They're quite similar in that regard. Both discontinued, unfortunately. Both very good fragrances. I'm pretty sure, and I'm going to check this, I'm pretty sure that they both have the same perfumer. And I believe the Prada came out a year before this one did, which does not have the same perfumer as the Prada. I believe this one was done by Olivier Guillotin, and the Prada was done by Daniela Andres Rocher or something like that. Please don't quote me. You can look it up yourself. They're different perfumers, but extremely similar scents. However, less myrrh in this one than there is in the Prada. Having said that, I discounted. This is the lesson that you have to learn: is that even if the majority of people, the consensus is saying something like, it's really not that great, or I've seen reviews of this by actual bigger channels years and years ago saying something like, it's an acquired taste, either you love it or you hate it, and most of you will not like it. It's hard to wear, it's hard to pull off, it's not that manly, etc., etc. And as a result, it was never on my radar. But I chanced across it. Someone I know said, you should try it out, it's really that great. I chanced across it, and I actually smelled it. I actually went to the shops and smelled it and tested it out, and I went, yes, this is actually worth having. Even if it is very similar to the Prada, it's actually worthwhile having anyway, considering the good deal that I got on it, considering they're both discontinued, and I'm already like a quarter of the way through that bottle, and I'm maybe a quarter of the way through this bottle as well, so then it means I don't need to have a backup. There you go. That's the sound of me trying to get this out of the packaging. This is by the House of Argos. It is, oh, look at this fancy, if I can get it to focus, look at that fancy little rock in the Eye of Ra. This is by the House of Argos. This is Triumph of Bacchus, which caught a little bit of hype when it was originally released, but this is the extrait version of the original. And I did have a decant of the original, and I thought, it's nice, it's just a little bit harsh. To my nose, it was a little bit unrefined and unpolished, and it was a bit harsh. And when the Parfum version came out, I thought I'll take a chance. And I blind bought this, and it turned out to be an absolute winner. This is so good. I immediately feel that there is a huge difference between this and Eau de Parfum. In smell-wise, they're fine. They're very similar smell-wise. However, the feel of when you actually inhale the scent to smell it is different. It is different. It's just way more, it feels like more polished, more rounded, more smoother, and it's velvety, silky. All of the adjectives that you could use to describe something that is smooth and creamy, that is this. It's that sweet sort of tobacco kind of scent. Just phenomenal. And the bottle itself is just enormously good. So if you have a look at that, very hefty, very well done. The projection is not huge. After a couple of hours, it kind of dies down, but it stays with you as a Parfum does. It acts like a Parfum, which I do prefer for this kind of scent. I don't want to shout and say that I've been rolling around in a batch of sweet tobacco. I have not. And I have used quite a bit of it. I did get it when the weather was still kind of cooler, and so I did burn through quite a bit of it. The next one that I picked up this year is from Bulgari. It is from the La Gem collection, and it is not Tiger, believe it or not. It is something else. It's probably just as good as Tiger in its own category, and that is this one here. This is Aurum, and this is a 30 ml bottle of it, which I actually purchased brand new, sight unseen, and never smelled before. I bought it from somebody on eBay who's selling their Emirates first class amenities kit, and this is one of the things in the amenities kit, is a bottle of Bulgari's Aurum. Sometimes you get Gyan, sometimes you get Tiger. This one is Aurum. And this is a beautiful vanilla oud sort of scent. It's smoky, it's a bit dusty, it's a bit dark and dry. It is super not sweet, which is very good and right up my alley. And I absolutely love it. It performs incredibly. You can't see through the bottle, but I have actually used up a third of it already on the cold days that happened to occur right after I bought it. And I have already been complimented wearing this. The first time I was wearing this, it was just, I'm like, whoa, what is that? And I said, oh, it's one of these. And then they took a look at the price for the full bottle and went, it's nice, I'll think about it. Because I think they're about $550 for a full 100 ml. I do believe that they've been reformulated now, maybe with a second batch. They come in 60 ml and 120 ml. I could be wrong here, but yeah, this is not that. So there you go. That is Bulgari's Aurum. Something else I just picked up recently that I didn't think that I would like, but you know, at like $7, I couldn't say no. And you'd probably be thinking, oh, finally, a cheapie. No, no, no. It's a mini, and it is a mini of Escada pour Homme. It is a very vintage Escada pour Homme. I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like yay. That's the mini bottle right there. It's not that I've got massive, enormous hands. It is actually a 5 ml dabber. Oops, I may have dropped 0.1 of a milliliter. Man, I usually view vintages, manly vintages, very, very cautiously because they all have a similar sort of scent going on, in that projecting that manliness to show everyone how manly you are. Not this one. This was a little bit different and caught me by surprise in that it went very warm and but like it felt like there was a warmth to it, and a honeyed warmth, even though I don't think there's any honey in here. It actually wore really well, and it was very, very good. For the little dab that I put on my wrist, I could actually smell it projecting for about half a day. There was 2 versions of this that came out. One was the Eau de Toilette. This is the Eau de Parfum version. So I've got 5 mils of the Eau de Parfum, and now I think maybe I'll be on the hunt for a bigger bottle of this, because this is definitely one worth having a bigger bottle of. And even though it came out maybe 30 something years ago, first time smelling it in 2024. Is it relevant for 2024? Yes, I still think that a scent like that is still quite relevant. It's still quite sort of, I wouldn't say it's cutting edge modern, but it is definitely not a dated scent profile. The next one that I picked up whilst on vacation this year is by the House of Loewe. It's from their line called the Agua line, and it is the men's version of him and her kind of thing. They have one called Ella for women, and there's one for men, which is called simply Elle. Okay, and if you can tell, this is a tad bit empty because even though we purchased this in mid-September, it is, well, maybe like one or two mils left in here because it is gorgeous. And as soon as we started using this, whilst we were on vacation, this is my wife and I, we quickly realized that we're going to burn through this bottle, and I know that Loewe don't bring their entire line to Australia, and whilst we were on holidays overseas, we should take advantage of it and the price that we got it at, and purchased another one. So immediately purchased the second bottle of this, which in hindsight was actually a very good decision because now we've already cracked open the second one. What does it smell like? If you think about a more well put together l'eau d'essai without the annoying yuzu, if you find yuzu annoying, it's not so brash. It's very, very well done, especially for a summer scent. You find a lot of summer scents that you want to put on that they discount the performance, as in they'll make it perform well, so, and as a result of that, it ends up not smelling as good as it should or as refreshing as it should in the depths of the summer heat. This one, yes, it doesn't perform that great. You maybe get 4 or 5 hours out of it, even if you like bathe yourself in it, which I have done on occasion. It makes you smell fresh and good and light and airy. It actually gives you like this sense of cooling you down as you're smelling it. So it actually does its job really, really well. I love a frosted bottle, even though this one's got like a nice sort of blue tinge to it as well. I don't know if that picks it up as well, but yeah, it's just phenomenally good scent. Can't say any less good things about this because it is just that good. And for the price that we picked it up at, it was like $155 Australian for a 100ml bottle. That's pretty good, considering we got like a deal at the department store and got duty free off of it as well. So that was actually a really good deal. At the same time, we also picked up another one from Loewe, which I really liked. I actually smelled the entire line. This is from the other line that they've got called Un Paseo por Madrid. This one right here, and this is called Mayrit. Mayrit is, I think, the historical word for Madrid. It used to be called Mayrit, and this is a very heady floral bomb, right? But it's a deep sort of saccharine, syrupy floral bomb. I wouldn't recommend it in super hot weather because this is a beast. If you could even see the color of the juice, this is a very, very strongly performing fragrance. Some people, so the story goes, my wife really liked this. I really liked this as well as we were trying it out in the store. However, when we came back home and she wore it once and she wore it to work, she came back, she said, it's so strong, it's giving me a headache. So therefore, only I've been wearing this one and I have worn a tad bit of it already. So yeah, and I wear it, I guess, when, you know, I'm either out at the office by myself or she's out in the office and I'm at home by myself, so I don't have to give her a headache by wearing this. However, I do think that this is the best in the lineup of this, was it Un Paseo por Madrid? And if you haven't checked this out, please do check it out. Loewe makes some really great fragrances, as well as they do with their leather goods. They're a Spanish leather goods company, I guess. but their fragrances are kind of underrated. Yeah, I think there's one that actually that I smelled which was very similar to Aventus. Yeah, but I didn't buy that one because I've got Aventus already. And something else that I picked up, I want to say, actually, I'll tell you exactly when I picked this up. I bought this from the Louis Vuitton boutique on the 4th of November this year. It is right now, as of the filming of this video, it is the 23rd of December, the same year. And it's Pacific Chill. I already did a video on it, but look what's happened to it. This is what happens when both myself and my wife really, really like a fragrance, and the weather actually suits the wearing of this fragrance, and we both end up absolutely demolishing the thing, just like we did with the Loewe when we were on vacation and came back and continued what we were doing. This mint, apricot, and all the things that go with it is so good. So good. I smelled the whole lineup, and this, I thought, I'm gonna pay full price for this. I didn't realize how quickly I would need to refill it. Luckily, you can get these refilled from the LV boutique at much lower, I think well over 20% less than what they actually charge you retail for it. So yeah, and I didn't think that I would need to do that as soon as I did. Maybe I should have just bought the 200 ml bottle, but I didn't know I was going to go through it this quickly. Wow. Anyway, that's another one that I really, really liked and I picked up. And then that led to probably like a month afterwards, yeah, earlier this month, I believe, that I actually picked up the one that I wanted to pick up initially before Pacific Chill took the #1 spot for the Louis, and that was On the Beach. And this one was my pick of the bunch initially when I smelled all of the Louis. And I probably have 2 more that I'm going to add to the collection, or the wear action from the house of Louis Vuitton. I'm going to stop it there because it's dangerously expensive and it's hard to come by on the grey market. And you know, you always have those doubts of the ones that you're buying on the grey market for stuff like this. That is it legit? Is it not legit? So you may as well just buy the real thing. And so that's it. That's the one that I got, and I got this full as well. So I've actually, no one's been wearing this except me. And the warmer weather that we've had recently in Melbourne has meant that you know, I've gone through quite a bit of it. Something to do with like the poor performance of both of these fragrances also has something to do with why I've used so much of it, and because I apply it more than once a day and multiple sprays. So there you have it. Those are some of the things that I picked up in 2024 for the first time this year for me, smelling a whole bunch of different fragrances. I did smell a whole lot more, but those were the ones that I actually put my money where my mouth was, or put my credit where my desires were. I am very financially responsible, don't worry about me. And for everybody who's thinking, Raf, do you have any, you've gone through all these fragrances, yes, they're great, but oh my God, they're so bloody expensive, all of these ones. Do you have any cheapies perhaps for me? Hold that thought. No, sorry.